All right, everybody, welcome to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo. Yes, we're live this Tuesday. Sorry about the situation last week. Had something uneventful that we had, unavoidable, I should say, we had to take care of. And so we had to do that. But we're back here live and in color with my baby, princess herself, Brenda McCain. How you doing there, goddess? When did
I get demoted?
When did you get demoted from? What, princess?
You don't go from a queen to a princess.
Queen, princess, royal highness.
Yes.
Grand,
Hello, everyone. He's tripping again.
the grand of grands. My baby, my girl, my boo, the prophetess. That's the name. Prophetess Brenda McCain is in the house. This is prophetess. You heard us the 2 weeks ago. She was prophesying and doing all kinds of things. So prophetess Brenda McCain on here. I don't think I called you prophetess the last time, but we'll get back to it. Evangelist. There you go. She knows her titles.
Yes.
We're having a good time here. So hopefully everybody's okay. We know some thunderstorms and tornadoes are coming through the Midwest. One hit the Corning, Iowa, a tornado. So we're praying for the people out there in Corning, Iowa. So hopefully, check out the news. If you know anybody lives there, try to see if you can get in contact. And we are praying for everyone in that location. Baby, how you doing? Any praise reports? Anything you want to say before we get on the show?
I'm just going to do my shout out and give these people their flowers now. Shout out to Shelton Smith for connecting us with a great guest tonight. Shout out to the Chicago Fly Guy, Shelton Smith, and the beautiful Yvonne Forbes. I tease her about her accent all the time because she's from London. But shout out to her and LaBelle La Diva Enterprises because she's the publicist for our guest tonight. So thank you, Yvonne, and thank you, Smitty.
And you're gonna find out something that we went to go see this play. And we're gonna talk about it. English. How there are some people that don't like the fact that you say something about their accent. So maybe you should stop doing that.
No,
Okay.
Yvonne was sweet about it.
Okay, she was. But she probably playing sweet. Like she probably sitting there saying, "I wish this chick and everybody else would stop asking me about my accent." Because it's not an accent to me. It's my normal voice. But hey, shout out to them for that. I was gonna say something, but of course I would start talking, and I can't remember what I was gonna say. Hey, today is Kenny's Choice. The music is gonna be all played by our own GOAT himself, the Rockford GOAT, Kenny Crawford. He's going to have all the music, so he's going to play it. He's going to let us know we come back into the air, and we're going to be talking about some great stories today. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. I talked about this on the show once before, that I was thinking about doing a show called No Judgment. Today, we're going to be talking about one of those subjects for no judgment. I know some of y'all saying, this is not a Christian conversation. Okay,
it is.
Then don't listen. Because everything surrounds around a Christian conversation. But we're going to be talking about something that has been out there a lot and has come back to fruition in the Chicagoland area because of our own new quarterback, Caleb Williams. And it's going to be black men dating white women. Ooh, I know it's going to be a problem. It's something that has come up that we want to discuss on our topic, No Judgment. And we're going to be just frank and honest and open about it because we want to be able to deal with some of the issues and discussions and stuff like that with that, and then bring it back into a understanding of how this, actually formulates into a Christian argument, because it can bring out racism, prejudice, all kinds of things. And if you know anything about the biblical days, they went through all kinds of situations where they were not supposed to, date out of their race. They didn't call it race then, but out of their
culture, race.
I forget what it was. But hey, we're gonna go on with that. So what we talking about today on Christian Real?
Christian Real. We're talking about being judgmental.
Right. So, I was looking at this, I had it down there, I believe, and I know we talked about that before, but it made me think about how, as Christians, we can be extremely judgmental. I'm going to read this from Matthew 7:1 It's between 1 and 5, but it says, "Judge not, that you may not be judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, you will be measured. Will be measured unto you." And then John 7:24 says, "Do not judge by appearance, but judge by right judgment." And that can be kind of, like, what does that mean? Is by righteous judgment is the key word that it should be saying, by biblical righteous judgment. But as Christians, we have, babe, this is going to be one of our open forum conversations. And Christians, we can be extremely judgmental about people. And I'm not necessarily talking about in church, where if you ever been to a church, you know that people can be more judgmental in the church next to the Lord, praising Jesus, Ishatahe, and they will be so judgmental in a second, in a twinkling of an eye. They will see somebody doing something or saying something, or even if they praising the Lord in a way that they feel is unforbidding to them, they will be more judgmental. And so we have to I want to talk about this, because Luke also says in 6:37, "Judge not, and ye will not be judged. Condemn not, and ye will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." So, babe, why is it that we Christians who will say that we're following God, we love the Lord, we're going to live our lives according to his will, we're going to follow the words and the commandments of the Lord, and yet we can be judgmental about other people at any time in their lives?
Because normally it's something that person is judging them that they seen in themselves that they done, or it was a reflection of something that because they sinned back then and they overcame it, I could turn a spotlight on this person and I could judge them for their sins without highlighting my past or my sins. Because most Christians, and it's sad but true, they are hypocritical. They was, like you said, they'll shine a spotlight on you. They'll depict you, dissect you. And if someone say, okay, well, Rick, be honest. Have you ever, we ain't talking about me, we talking about you. See, they turn it away, as they say, when you point that one finger at them, four fingers are pointing back at you. But in order for you to say, I'm saved now, I don't do no wrong, and God forgiven me, I can't talk about my stuff. Well, you can't talk about their stuff neither. Only God sits high and look low and could just judge someone. And he gives a second to 100 different chances. Whereas with us, you mess up one time, that's it, I'm done. I done turned the cheek 77 times, and I feel like I got the honor to sit and judge you, Rick.
I'm going to say something that's going to sound a little bit conflicting, but I'm going to say this. And if you all know me, I'm always was a person when I preach, I would throw out things that would just, shock you. Most Christians are not judgmental. You know what? Because a person who is spiritually following God doesn't judge.
You don't think so?
Hold on. The problem is that we don't do it on a consistent basis. And so the spirit is replaced with the flesh. So we step out of our Christianity and become flesh human beings, I should say. And then we start walking in the flesh. And that's why the Bible says that the flesh and the spirit are always at enemy with each other. Because as we're walking as a child of God spiritually, at that moment we're caught up into God, and the Spirit of God is resting, rule, and abide on us. As Christians, we are not even thinking about judging others. We are only involved in our relationship with God. The problem is that Satan knows the strength and the power of that relationship is ultimately going to come back down because you're not staying within that spiritual realm 24/7. And some say, well, that's hard. No, it's not. Because your spirit can be strong enough that if something comes against you. Now the Bible says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And it tells you that there's going to be a time in your life that your spiritual walk with God, your Christianity, your flow in being a Christian is going to be attacked. The problem is that we see the attack, we know the attack is coming, but because we walk outside of the spirit realm and get into our flesh, we decide to become human and we decide to fall into society's trap of judging others instead of letting God place judgment.
That's a good analogy. I give you 1 point.
1 point. I hope that's not 1 out of 10. That's really bad. So basically what I'm saying is that what happens when we become judgmental, we are not in the spirit. Because God tells us that you can't be of God and of the world. And so once we decide to be judgmental, which is not of God, we have devoided ourselves spiritually and started walking back into the world. And that's when we become judgmental. That's when we and I said that's when because I've had that happen to me before too. I'm not perfectly made. There's only one perfect person, but Jesus. But we sit there and we forget about that our daily life, we're supposed to be examples of God, walk in the Spirit. Someone says something about us or you do something, we're not supposed to be troubled at all because we know that we are a child of God. We're walking in the Spirit, and like the woman said, as long as I have King Jesus, I don't need nobody else. And that means I don't need anybody to love me, to hate me, to encourage me, to depress me. All I need is God, and He will bring people in my life to do the things that He wants. And that's walking in the spiritual realms. And hey, I'm not let no weapon form against me prosper. But we allow the world and the things of the world. It's almost like we assimilate because we want to be like the world. Like people want to dress like somebody, act like somebody. They get popularity and they beat up on their girlfriends and it's on television and he can't even give an example of why he beat her. And now all of a sudden his career could be messed up. If y'all know, I don't know if y'all know who I'm talking about, but you'll figure it out. We start walking into the world again, the realm of reality or the world instead of the spiritual realm. And that's when judgment or a judgmental lies between the spiritual world and our earthly world. Because now it knows it has caught you out of focus spiritually. And now I'm going to say that, you know what? I'm so tired of Brenda always thinking because she get on this show looking all cute that she's better than me.
Oh, that's how you think of boo?
No, baby. I'm just these are examples.
I know.
Examples. I'm the Black King. Can't you see that today? If y'all ain't looking at it on Facebook and YouTube. But that's what happens a lot, babe, is that we allow ourselves to fall into the desires of the world. And because of that, we get attacked spiritually because Satan doesn't want us staying focused as Christians, where if we are, judgment does not live in the realm of Christianity.
Okay. 2 points.
Okay. You got anything else you want to say? But I'm not saying that we're not judgmental. As humans, we are. And that's where we can get in church. That's why Satan doesn't concern himself about us going to church. Because he knows the only thing you did was bring your human faculties, your flesh to God for 2 hours. I can wait. I'm looking at my time. I can wait. Church starts at 10. pastor should be over about 12. You be out about 12:30 after you get through talking
And you
talking
don't even get out the parking lot
and talking
without
about
going
people.
on.
I can wait because I'm gonna tell you something. If you only can last 2 hours in a 24-hour period, then there's no reason for Satan to be afraid about what you're going to receive in those 2 hours, because he knows it's not going to last for 24. And that's where judgment lies, in the cracks, in the crevices, waiting for you to spiritually unravel and forget about what you just heard. That's good, Pastor. Say it again, Pastor. Or we say, that was a good word for him, Pastor. You should have heard that, girl. He knows that he's just waiting for us to unwind and unravel. Because right now, we're going to church selfishly, trying to find something for ourselves. I need a spiritual breakthrough. I need that. And if you don't get it, or give me an example. You sitting right in front so you can see the pastor. You ain't in the front row, but you're right in the middle where you can see the pastor. Then all of a sudden the usher decides she wants to bring somebody that's tall and they sit right in front of you. You done lost your mind. You done unraveled. Your Christianity is unraveled, and Satan knows, hey, she's going to unravel about this. You get mad at the person in front of you, even though the church got, big screen TVs there. You get mad at the usher for having to sit there. All these other seats you could have set them at, because Satan knows that it's that small thing can unravel us, because we're only spending 2.5 hours worshiping the Lord. And I can even interrupt that, because you can be so angry about something that you miss the message. And don't let your favorite pastor preach, and let some low-level preacher preach for the day that you don't think you can get a word from. You're unraveling. And that's where judgment comes in at. Because we're looking for something for ourselves and not looking to be a service. So when we look for ourselves and not look to be of service to God, then we unravel and judgment comes. And it takes us away from our Christianity and puts us in a fleshly world where we start doing things of the flesh and not of the spirit.
Okay.
Can I get 3 points there?
I
Get
give
it
you
three-
99.1.
Okay.
99.1.
But I mean, we got a few minutes here. People do get judgmental, though, correct? And I brought up some couple of things like that. How do you think sometimes we can handle just a simple thing of how you could handle when a situation where you find yourself going to be judgmental, and yet you know that you're an example of the Lord?
You have to look inward to me. If you're so quick to judge someone, always think, what if that was me? What if I was in that person's shoes? What if I was doing that? Would I want someone to depict me, analyze me, judge me, and without knowing my story? You know, and the quickest thing, like within the church, I know some Christians just judge everywhere, but within the church, you see a young lady come in there and she's wearing clothing that's not church-like. And instead of embracing her because she might be a babe in Christ and just telling her gently certain things, it should never be every summer pastor have to put out a cursor and say, hey, I know it's summer, it's about to get hot, but you still have to wear your clothes because you're still in the house of God for worship and fellowship. Shouldn't have to do that every year, but they do. But if the person didn't grow up in church and don't know the rules of the church, you have to gently do that. But I still say my answer is you have to look inward to yourself. Would I want someone judging me all the time?
Yeah, and you say that, and I understand that, but in work society, there used to be a time where you had to wear a suit, a tie and stuff like that. knowing what that person has. Now you can buy nice clothes at pretty much anywhere. I mean, you go, heck, Timo is a great place to go to. You can go to Walmart, Kmart, Target. They still have some clothes where you can still wear that's nice. But before we start placing that judgment on that person, we need to find out, what they can afford. And I love the fact that churches have evolved to a point where they allow people to come as they are, with a certain amount of decency and decorum, that they understand that you're not supposed to come in there, with your stomach sticking out or your pants, your underwear showing. There's a certain decorum you need to follow. You seem like you want to say
Someone
something.
said they can't hear us.
Someone says they can't hear us. I don't think there's anything wrong with the sound. You can check with Kenny, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the sound. So Kenny will check on that. But you could probably just turn it on yourself and see if you can hear you. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the sound on there. It should be fine now. Okay, so it should be fine now. So sorry, but I hope they heard some of the stuff that I said on there. I mean, because I was flowing in the spirit.
LaWanda says she hears us now. Thank
Okay.
you, LaWanda.
Okay, LaWanda, thank you. See, now I've all of a sudden just got thrown off. I feel so good. I'm going to change the conversations right now. I feel so good that Kenny's here. This is what I'm talking about when I said Kenny makes this show so much better. Because if someone would have said to Brenda, they can't hear, and I had to figure that out, I wouldn't be able to concentrate on the show anymore. But now that we have, our, producer, the GOAT himself, the Rockford Goats, handling it, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm free. I don't have to be judgmental of people judge the show and say, they talking all this stuff and you can't even hear them, But I'm so happy about that. But again, we've got a guest coming on. We got some guests coming on at 7:30 that's going to be talking about some finance and what else, Brenda? Finance and marriage and finance.
Marriage and finance.
That's what I said, marriage and finance. But this judgmental thing, we have to be careful as Christians, because if we don't understand, when you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, there is a spiritual obligation to be an example. We're all in a ministry once we've accepted Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. I know how the churches may want you in their ministry, but as you walk and how you are after that moment is a ministry to others, to see something about you that they want to be, because they can see the glow of the Lord, or the change, or the transformation in your life. If I used to curse out people and talk about people all the time, and I'm in the church and 10 years later I'm still cursing people out and talking about them all the time, what example does that set for someone who's trying to be a Christian?
And that's why they always say some of the Christians are the biggest hypocrites within the church. You living your life large and beautiful for those 2 hours, and some of them be mean within the church for those 2 hours. And then sometimes you see them out in public, they still mean, make a person who don't want to come to Christ.
And that's why I said it's not the Christian that is doing that. It's the person who is living in the flesh, because the Christian is in the spiritual realm. It's almost like, Sybil, they got these, schizophrenic personalities. That's how we are sometimes. We can come to church sometimes and don't even want to talk to nobody. I don't want to talk to anybody today.
I ain't talking to her. She didn't speak to me.
Why would you even bring in that wicked spirit? Don't be. She always coming up here talking to people. Wow. So what we have to do is, when the Bible tells us we're not battling with flesh and blood, but principalities and high places. What?
Okay, LaWanda, I'm going to read this comment.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you, LaWanda. She says, I remember y'all from Cello. I love y'all. You all helped me in our marriage. Miss you all so much. And hubby been married. Me and hubby been married now 33 years.
All right.
And
Congratulations.
counting. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for the beautiful compliment. We got 30 coming up on us.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful when you hear couples sticking it out, making it work.
Sticking it out.
You know what I mean, LaWanda.
Oh, Jesus.
Making it
I'm
work.
Oh, Lord, that man get on my nerves, but I'm
Well, we just
sticking
keeping
it out.
real. That's probably why LaWanda liked us, because
Yeah.
we kept it real.
You know.
And now I got a face to your name now.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, because I kept looking at it like, I know this name. But thank you, sweetie. Thank you.
And we got to get out of here. We're going to talk about that a little bit more again, about being judgmental. But we've got to go because it's 7:30, about 7:30, 7:31. We got some guests going to be coming on the show. Tonight is Kenny's Choice. So all of the music is going to be being brought to you by our own Rockford GOAT producer, Kenny Crawford. And when I say we got to go, we've got to go to some music. For those of you all that are listening to us on YouTube or Facebook, we're going to be talking about some stories there. So listen up to the Kenny's Choice music on Let's Stay Together Talk Show, and we'll be right back. All right. So, I mean, you know, the thing about judgmental people is that we have to remember, especially as Christians, that if we continuously walk in the spirit realm, then we can fight off being judgmental. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen sometimes, because Satan is always going to be on the attack. And hopefully you get stronger and stronger and stronger. But it's when we step outside of that spiritual realm that Satan will attack us and make us look as though we're not Christians and we're not living a spiritual life. And if he continuously does that and there's no change, it does kind of damper or decreases or weaken our spirit ability, our spiritual realm and ability to walk in the word of the Lord. So be careful with that when you're living your life. Don't be judgmental. Just let God do the judgment.
Okay,
What you got?
one story we could get in real quick. This is a feel-good story I want to leave with. Chicago teen earns doctoral degree at 17. By age 14, Dorothy Jean Tillman had attained an
Dorothy Jean.
associate's, bachelor's, and master's degree at 14. Despite all of her impressive achievements, she told her mother she wasn't done. She wanted to go for the juggler. She wanted to go get her doctorate degree. And at first, her mother was like, no, you got everything. You're doing good. You're so young, 14. Now you could just, be a teenager. She was like, she got work to do, Rick. That's what she said. She's a teenager. She got work to do, and she want young people to know you could say it and ask God and go for it. And I'm like, but she is a brilliant young lady. That's all I'm saying, because that ain't easy for the 14-year-olds. But kudos to Dorothy.
I mean, that is a brilliant story. What I love about that story when I found is that these are some stories you never really hear on television, which always aggravates me. You always hear these negative stories about African Americans, but here you hear about a young lady at the age of 14 getting a doctoral degree. Very smart young lady. I mean, wishing her a lot of luck, a lot of good fortunes, just stay the course, intelligent, make the right choices, she'll be fine. But I love hearing these stories because you don't hear them on the news. Every time you hear something on the news about an African American, most of the times, 95% of the time, it's a negative story.
Yeah.
And so I'm just happy to hear about this young lady. And she did her degree at, what would she do at 14? Because it says 17 on there.
She got a doctorate at 17. At 14, she got associate's, bachelor,
Okay.
and master's.
Yeah.
And when she was 7 years old, she was doing high school work.
There you go.
It's like
Little
you can't
Miss
help.
Doogie Howser.
Okay, you just can't help but to love a child that's an overachiever like that.
All
So kudos to you, sweetheart. This is great.
Yes.
Kudos to you.
Kudos.
While we waiting, I could go to this next story. Okay, I didn't want to talk about Sean right now. Okay, but we're going to talk about Sean right
No, I'm just saying, talking the mic. That's all.
now. Okay.
You don't have to talk about the pastor.
Well, this story,
Because I got another thing about Sean Combs over here that I'm looking at too.
this pastor had fear of coming out. Now this pastor wants to help black churches become as welcoming
Got
as
to
the
let
song.
me
Let
show.
me read this, please.
You can read it while I'm doing that, hopefully. Well, you should.
Be quiet. Let me read
You
this.
should be able to read it, Brenda.
Queering the black church is what he wanted to do. And what his goal is to queer the black church. Now, that's kind of different because this church is on, accepted of this. People seen him, Mr. What is his name? Reverend Brendan Thomas Crowley came in there and said he was hiding his identity for years, Rick. Just hiding it. And then he's like, how can I be a good preacher or a pastor if I don't let them know exactly who I am?
Right. And, hopefully we can get some people that can multitask. Because you should be able to talk while I'm doing that because they can still hear you on the radio while you're doing that. So it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, because I don't have a problem with that because I understand that. But, I think that, we're living in some times where people are more comfortable with living their own lifestyle. And that they don't want to be judged either. But when we start bringing that into the church and start trying to make it comfortable and then say, I'm going to, bring in the biggest queer church, that can be an issue because it's not biblical. I mean, you can do that. You might have that, but it's not biblical and it's not of God. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that later because we got 15 seconds before we go back onto the air. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But again, it's not of God when it happens, and we're going to take care of that then. All right, SOAR Radio people, welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Mrs. Can't Multitask, Brenda McCain over there. And welcome back for those who have listened to us on YouTube and Facebook. Please rejoin us as we talk to our guests. And they are upside down right now. So, I don't know if you all can turn it straight, but right now you're upside down on our thing, or you're sideways.
Okay. Thanks, Dan.
There we go. All right.
Okay, yeah.
How you all doing? Good to see you because I'm gonna have a crook if I got to do this all the time. It's good to see you all. So I'm gonna let my baby introduce you, and then we're gonna go from there.
First of all, I'm going to say welcome, but I was contacting Yvonne, and she told me they are. Thank you, Yvonne. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together Talk Show. They so cute and young. Hello, beautiful people. Everyone, we have the Hortons over here with us. Jason, I have to respect the king. Jason and his beautiful queen, Sharnita Horton. Now, our topic today is marriage and finances. And I know you guys, this is a power couple, babe. I just have to give you your little flowers right now, imaginary flowers right now, in the proper introduction. We have Jason. He's the financial expert and CEO over so many things. And I believe that beautiful wife is the COO over so many things, such as, let's see, executive producers or Sharnita's World. Congratulations on finishing your first season, I believe. We got a second season. Congratulations. I love that. And got to catch me some episodes soon, too. And also, they own multiple businesses. Multiple. She's, going back to Sharnita, she's a motivational speaker, businesswoman, business coach, fashion guru, investor, financial literacy expert, entrepreneur, and of course, going back to the king, Smart Tax. I mean, I know y'all in it together, but I got to separate him with that. The Smart Tax right there, along an executive producer of this beautiful show that we're going to be following you on. You guys come with a multitude of a lot of things that I'm so proud of. And to be married, how long have you been married? Okay,
11
how long?
years. 11 years.
11?
We just had an anniversary.
Oh.
All right, congratulations.
Yes,
Thank
congratulations. So we're gonna get into the financials here as a couple. We need to know. We know that's hard for some people, ain't it, babe?
Yeah, but before we go on that, they're a couple, and I love the
Cute couple.
we joke around here, so y'all got to get comfortable because we're we're totally real. We've been married for like almost 30 years, and we're just real with each other. I did like the kind of Donald Trump thing that she kind of did for you all. Like, there's there's numerous things. And so I'm like, okay,
But
relax.
don't compare me to him.
Relax, you know. But you all have been married for 11 years. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I just want you, before we get into that, kind of talk to some young people, before we get into the finances, about, getting past that 7-year itch that people always talk about. Talk a little bit to them about how good it feels to be at a point where you're in a double digits and your marriage is moving forward. Either one of
Well,
you.
the great thing about it, I think marriage is about being intentional. And understand that it's not an easy ride. Get into you right, double digits. Whoo, child. I remember yes. I can remember it was about 5 or 7 years. Right after 5 years was one of our roughest times. But we really was like, we didn't know to say I hate you. I mean, let's start all over. Let's remarry. You get out of my face. Oh, I love you. And then we go back, and then that's when you riding that roller coaster. So those words, you got to watch what you say to each other, because marriage is about being intentional.
Yeah.
Everything, so if you look at things in your spouse's intentions, I think that's what would carry you, because you might say some things that you may not exactly mean, but if you look at the heart of your spouse, you know that they don't, mean to come off like that.
Yeah.
And she said, when you look at the heart of your spouse, when you in the middle of that argument, you ain't trying to see that heart. It's like he is getting on my nerves. That's what he doing. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I will say this. I think it was like even the second or third year of our now going on 30. We do marriage ministry and counseling. We were telling people that there was a time that I was looking in the yellow pages for the first divorce lawyer I could find so I could get away from her. But we use this analogy when we teach in class, is that somebody has to be willing to die on the cross so the marriage can live. And we made it past it. And I do have to give Brenda some credit there, because she had one time we was going through some struggles. She was saying, hey, I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So let's stop all this nonsense. And it kind of broke the veil of any trauma that might come into a relationship. So I'm glad you all are, being honest about it. Yeah, it's you get to that point like I'm done. I'm out of here. But yet you know that spiritually you're gonna still, follow the Lord and go on. I know my baby's got some questions here for you, so I'm gonna let her do her thing. And
I want to add.
Sure, go ahead.
Like with our pastor, because we're really close with our pastor, and one of the things, just talking with him, that he just let me know, hey, marriage is work. Now I agree, yeah, marriage is work, and the marriage starts to fail when the other person starts working towards the marriage, and that's one of the things I think as we grow in our marriage, that's one of the things that we have to always remember, that, like you said, we agree, hey, you're not going anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. This work towards this building, we're not perfect. And we just, striving to just increase our love. Yeah.
Amen. Amen to that.
Well, we love his pastor. He's teaching y'all right then. But marriage does take a lot of work, and it have to be two people willing to put in the work, because if it's only one person, then it's never going to work. Like I said, Rick and I, just to give you our backstory, Rick and I have been married going on 30 years in August. And we know that we're not a pretense couple. Like, I know you guys are transparent, and that's why I love to have you on the show. And thank you, Jason, for joining in, because at first it was just going to be Shanita, but I was like, oh, this is cool.
This is a man's world.
Well, hey, and he got his queens.
Come on now. See what I got on? Black
He got his
King. Yeah,
queens.
come on now.
Not that you can sing, not sing, you can sing.
Right, he can sing, but I can't. So only thing I'm gonna do is talk you to death, but he can sing. But and with you guys' schedule and everything, you have 3 beautiful children, right? I'm just trying to figure out how the heck do you guys do that. We're gonna jump into that as well, but I think they said the 5th reason why a lot of couples get divorced, and it is at 36.1%, is finances. Now, when you have 2 financing gurus on here. That I believe, Jason, it's your mom that did the taxes beforehand. That I
Yeah.
mean, boom, y'all jumped in, and my girl Shanita said, "I gotta learn this." She jumped in, so you guys got what's the word now for young people? Alabama on lock with the everything they come to you guys for all kind
Mhm.
of financial help, which is beautiful. So I just want to know within the marriage in the beginning, was it always, hey, we're gonna do we discuss finances before you got to the level where you at now? Did you discuss finances? Shanita, did you have your account? Jason, did you have your account? Or was it
I'm,
always combined?
I'm gonna let him answer these first.
Yeah, so I think that the great thing about us, and I'll just speak on myself and then how we kind of when we started dating. One of the things I noticed early as I started my entrepreneur journey pretty early, like in high school. One of the things that I did was all the money that I made, tithe, and so I would tithe at
Amen.
church.
Amen.
And I noticed that I'm like, okay, God keep blessing me. I'm gonna keep on tithing. So as we start dating and went on to college, we started having conversations on thoughts, principles, our background, and she was more of a giver. And so she was like, oh, tithing, I'm really, because her dad is from a family that's has a preaching and her dad has his own church. My dad was in ministry, and so just combining those, I think that set the foundation. Her being a really good giver and me really operating the principle of tithing. I think that set the foundation for finance. And then as we start making money with just different odd jobs while going to college, I started a spreadsheet and I just put everything of all our bills, our expenses. I wish we can go back, not the life, but those expenses. They were so small, and but it was so large at the time. And I think that started everything. And we started. I would go over it.
And
Um,
I always remember we had a joint account. Like
yeah, we always had a joint.
besides maybe just being boyfriend girlfriend. Like
Mhm.
even when we decided to who was gonna marry, we started having joint account. We bought cars together. We did a lot together.
Yeah.
So we're very aware of working, buying things together.
Mhm.
Our togetherness was not an issue concerning personal and business. Like understanding that working together is gonna get us to the purpose that we need to
Mhm.
follow to get where we need to go. So I remember I wanted a car in college. He said, "Well, you need to get a, you need to find a job. I know I'm in football, so you're gonna
He did.
still, yeah." I
He
he
did.
he said you need to find a job, so I found the job. That was my gas. That was, but he paid for the car cash. So it was just that working together.
I
I
said, look, I'll
like
buy the
that.
car. But look, I was playing football in college. I'm like, look, we gotta put gas in this car. It's a cash car, but it's bound something gonna go wrong. And so we
Mhm.
need some extra money. And she went to where you was working at
I went to KFC,
KFC.
Kentucky Fried
I
Chicken.
love Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I be coming home with the biscuits, man.
Hey,
I
I'm
come home from
telling you.
practice. Man,
Look
look.
at y'all making me
She
hungry.
be
Okay.
baby, I got meal. That is awesome. I mean, you paid
Right, they
for it in
started
cash.
young.
So speak a little bit about being young like that and having that kind of drive and initiative. How can you help other young couples with that same motto? What do you try to teach them?
It's amazing. That's a great question, and I'm gonna watch in the near future how many times I get asked that question right there because I think that's gonna be my confirmation. A number in my head. I literally want to do a seminar for kids. We, I'm telling you, y'all, they do not teach financial literacy in school.
Mm-mm.
Like, so what I can tell the kids, learn your finances, learn your literacy, get a mentor. And I don't care how young, if a mentor, I don't care if you was 13, 14, somebody say I'm 21. My mentorship program is $500, save it up. Get to know it, whether they teaching you wrong or right, you gotta know the wrong way too. You gotta know the
Yeah.
right way.
Yeah.
So a lot of people be like,
Mm-hmm.
I learned wrong from that person. Okay, that still help you. Because it's a lot of things. We met con artists. We done met folks that everything. This business did this, and you need to invest in this. So I'm so glad of the wrong and the right teaching.
That's right.
Because
That is.
I know the blueprint now to tell a
Yeah.
child.
What is
Mhm.
with your 3 children? Do you guys teach them the concept of how to manage money, like if they get allowances or
Oh
anything, or do they have to
yeah.
work
Oh
for it?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh
Shanita, like,
yeah. Yeah.
I sometimes like I think they know they're wealthy, like, and I think they know they're we the things that they say. They had went over their cousin's house and they were like, well, come over our house bigger. We have to watch what they say, but they don't mean what they, it's
Yeah.
what they live. We got to
Yeah.
realize it's what
We
they
And
live.
that's
we
coming
got
from their heart because they see our house is bigger.
Come over
It's,
my house,
hmm
but we let them know to get this house.
Mhm.
What you got to do, babe?
Yeah, you got look, you got to
Gotta work.
manage. Yeah, you got to work. My daughter Bella, she told me, she said, she was like, she asked me to pay for something, and I know we gave her money, and she stashed her money away. She said, "Well, Mommy said I don't have to spend my money until I have bills." And then I was like, "Bills? So what you gonna do in the meantime?" And then she was, "Oh yeah, y'all gonna buy me everything." And I said, "Well, you gonna have to spend. You understand money? You gotta spend a little money right now."
And correct it. I said, Mama said you can save as much as you want because you don't have bills.
Yeah.
I did not say
Okay.
you. Yeah, I said save because when you don't have bills, you get to save. You get to know what to do with your money. You can save as I told her, it's 5 years old. You grow up, that money is gonna continue to save. I did not tell that girl. That little girl be.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say, I don't know where you all are sitting at, but it's breaking up a little bit. The internet connection is breaking up
Okay.
just a little. We can still hear you, but sometimes the picture breaks up.
Okay.
So,
Hopefully they don't have a storm. You guys don't have a stormy weather coming your way, do you?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
there's no
And y'all
sun
are
up in the sky. Are we
so
breaking up
It
too?
is
Are we?
cloudy.
Okay.
y'all are
okay.
perfect.
Uh,
And
um,
our Wi-Fi is perfect.
yeah. Well,
I let us.
we definitely ain't perfect.
She said the
Let me.
Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna say this. Hey, wow.
We'll
I mean,
stop moving so much like the
yeah.
marble.
I don't know if it's. I don't
That's
know. If that. But I have to say, wow. For that child to sit there and say, "Mama said I ain't got to pay nothing till I have beer." It's amazing how a child will remember what they want to remember. You supposed to buy this for me,
And I'm supposed to
I ain't
stack
spending
my
nothing.
paper.
I'm supposed to stack. I'm gonna be buying my wife or my husband a car one day. You give me this money right now. It's almost like Oprah. You get a car. You get it. They learn
Y'all
that
remember when she
principle.
did that? Oprah gave all the cars away.
Yeah, it's like she got you. You supposed to be giving me that.
But the trick to that, I could give you this car, but you got to pay those taxes. And
gotta-
a lot of
oh,
people
Missy.
didn't get their car. I'm like, wow. But we're going to talk about taxes here. Talk to us about Smart Tax, because I know you guys just got Alabama, everybody coming to you guys for help. And what are the services that they offer?
So Smart Test the right choice for hardworking people.
Yeah.
Serves 5,000 people. 5,000. And
Wow.
starting off, I remember Miss Joanne, our first year we did 200 and some clients. I remember her being too hard on her because we was working our corporate jobs and still going to remember now when my husband thinking of an exit plan in the midst of another, he impregnated me, and I went to, we started kind of like understand we gonna have to leave this job. But we left our job June 2016, walking out at the same time. It was the most chaotic day. The president got fired that day at Virginia College, everything. So you're talking, if we did that it was the best investment. Because I remember Jason told me the one thing I had was people skill, recruiter skill, and a talent. He said it was just something about me. And he told me I can invest that in our own company because I brought so many students to Virginia College. So, man, Martez is very known around the all state.
Okay, I'm just break it up a little bit, but I'm loving the fact because I think I read that you guys' game plan was on point. Same time, same date. Let's leave this corporate world because the business grew really fast, and that's a good thing. But even if you was ready for it or not, that's such a great thing. And you've been in it now for you said you did this in 2016.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
opened 2015.
yeah, 2015.
Okay,
And
that's
I want
9 years.
I do want to add to that because I don't want to have people thinking like we just cold turkey left. And so what we did because we was already in business, we were
Mm-hmm.
working our corporate jobs. We put together a savings. So I had like a savings set up
Uh-oh.
to carry us into the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a whole analysis. Now, about 6 to 8 months after that, but the main thing was we did have that cushion. We did open up a new location. As we expanded the business, we were there to help support my mom and staffs to be sure we were there on the off season to prepare for the upcoming season. Now we open year round. We do bookkeeping, budgeting, forecasting, payroll. We do everything you name from accounting the whole 9 yards. So we just took all our skill sets, dumped it into our business, and just continue to scale it.
And that is a very, I mean, I'm blown away by it. I want you all to just talk a little bit about overcoming the fear that I'm sure that was there, even though you all seemed like you were well planned of making that jump to leaving the job and it's going full force into the other companies and ministries that you're doing. Talk to some people about that because there is always that fear that even though I've planned well, that feeling of I know something's there compared to I don't know what's there can be very surreal for some people, and they may be afraid to make that jump. Talk a little bit about the planning and the overcoming that fear.
You mean I would say the unseen, the things that you can't see. Is this really gonna make me money? This is why I came up with the slogan, push the button. Cause you might not have a plan. You
Mm-hmm.
might not know when. I mean, woo child, you don't know. Just push the button, go. If you could just go and just start somewhere, you there. You already started. I'm here now, God. What I'm gonna do?
And
I
look,
like that. That's a
as
great
a man,
tagline.
I'm not gonna lie, it was scary because I think I went on a fast like right before we left our job. And also too, we had already had JJ, our first child. So we were thinking she was pregnant with the second child. And before I did my resignation letter, because I knew after the fast, God had put it on my heart, it's time to go. And before I had opportunity to say, hold on, we need to stay. Let's hold up. And she took a blood test to get an early, confirmation if she's pregnant or not. And she called me on the phone and said, yep, we pregnant. So I remember just kind of daydreaming, like, is this really like I had my mind made up and I got my desk. Before I knew it, I'm in my manager's
That
office
sending an email. That's
sending an email.
like when you
I
there,
did
push
it.
the button, send an email. And I'm not talking about when I say push the button, not your overall dream. Step by step. I'm gonna send this email, push the button. I'm gonna do this, push the
Yep.
button. Not so I don't want you to think, what do you mean try to push the button on? It gotta be, I mean, go, 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 and motivate yourself. You can do it, I can do it. So and that's what did it. I think both we just transparency. We just said we wish we would have stayed just two more.
About 2 more months.
Yeah,
2 more months.
we got a little, we got broke.
Because we had two salaries, so
Yeah,
our business
Yeah.
grew at about 33%. So we expanded. We came into that new year, and one thing I left out one slight little factor because I was like, insurance. Oh, okay, we got two kids. Oh, okay, the two salaries, and
the
then
delay in iris
now,
paying up.
yeah, the
Yeah,
business grew. But I had to think about it. We worked the prior year with two salaries with the business with one. And so it would have, if we would have just maybe stayed maybe 2 months, it would have kind of helped. But those challenges that we had to hustle through, it built us to where we are now because we understood how to kind of manage as entrepreneurs, self-employed.
Yeah, and you know, I can see already now in one of your seminars, or whatever. There's a button there that you're pushing or something
Yeah.
like that. Like
Just
push the
push the
button,
button.
push the button, push the button. If you don't, you can use that. Push the button. But I do
Yeah.
like the philosophy of that. Have a game plan, and in every scenario, be ready to push that button to take the next step to the next level until you get to the point where you're at where you want to. Just continuously have the courage and the financial planning and everything in order to push that button, and that's a good philosophy.
I want to add on because you guys give so much. You offer so much as this to me dynamic dual couple with everything that God has blessed you with, and we sticking with the financial aspects. How do you give back to the community with that? Do you offer
I
certain services to them?
Ooh, the list is long on my giving. I love giving. I do back to school drives, Charnita's World. I mean, we do stuff for Smart Tax. I mean, this year we giving away a car. We gave away turkey. I do book bags. I give away cash. I pay rent. I pay light bill. This is just people I completely don't know. Um, we really believe in what we give out and what we sow comes back. We have seen literally giving out and then a check in the mail. Like that has been our principle. So I don't care what nobody say. One thing you're not gonna do is stop me from giving. Now, I am one of the first people to get hurt, because givers are y'all. I am you'll end up looking at me and say, we told you. So what I do, Rick, I pray. I had to pray before I give. Not, I'm gonna give to you, because it gotta make sense. Because when somebody hurt you, did you pray? Did you do the right? Was that what you're supposed to do? Did you actually discuss it? Especially when I just thought I could do things how I wanted, especially when I was unsubmissive in my marriage.
Yeah,
And we bring
ahead,
a lot
bro.
of interns in. Yeah, we bring a lot of interns in as well.
Interns.
And we're growing that in high school. Interns for college, we're gonna get them just to show them like, hey, you can gain the experience, and also we're teaching them a lot of fundamental financial literacy that they may not be getting at the school. And so just giving out our knowledge too. So it's just not financial, it is not material. I think the knowledge, them hearing us, our high schools down the road from one of our offices, them seeing us community and seeing us speak and also really they can see the success, they've seen the elevation that help too.
Yeah, so it's great. I'm just curious. I was gonna make a joke. I'm like, I ain't gonna ask you for the car, but I'll take a turkey, okay?
He'll take the turkey.
I'll take the turkey.
But you know what? This is another.
I ain't gonna do an Oprah on you, but I'll take the turkey. You get a car.
Right. I can't say you guys live in Alabama. I'm not gonna say where because I don't know where, but live in Alabama. And my first experience was last year. My nephew's wedding was in Alabama, and why can't I think of the city he was in?
Because I can't.
It was a small city that the planes couldn't even fly into, and I'm like, what is great in Alabama? But of course, Shanita and Jason are great in Alabama.
Thank you.
And you got something like Lovely Retta. She giving you all green hair, Shanita and Jason. I don't know if you know her. Lovely Retta is her name on here, and she's just loving you guys. So I think, with people, because Shelton Smith referred you to us, and he said, Brenda, you're going to love her. And of course, Jason, we love you too. But he said she got this big personality. You're going to love her. And I'm like, she sure does have this big personality. And I love her.
And I take umbrage. Jason, you the guy. We ain't gonna sit here and say, and I love you too, like it's an afterthought.
No, he ain't no afterthought. He her first thought.
That's the black. Don't be doing that to my brother. The place he was talking about was Dalton.
Let me tell you
World.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
This my man. Like,
Yeah.
this my.
Go
this
ahead,
my
Tina.
father.
Now, I won't say
Let
Tina.
me-
That's a bad example.
This,
But go ahead.
this my everything. Like
Yeah.
he pushes me. He pleases me. He do what he need necessary. But I always been more of an extroverted compared to him. So I love what I thank my husband because he didn't have to be who he is. He could sit back and be rich just in there. But he decided to go on this Chinese world journey with me and invest in my dreams. I mean, one of my gifts, he literally bought. I have a personal assistant. Pay the separate. He said, "I'm gonna pay this separate." I mean, it's just the intentions what he does. Cause so he's always gonna be my man. If you ain't praising, ain't praise, I will, baby. Because I'm man, and everybody know that.
Yeah.
But you know,
Look,
yeah.
I want my kids.
I mean, wait a minute. I'm like, because this ain't reciprocation here.
I just love when we see couples that's in love and real.
And so I want one too.
I want one too.
This is about them. Let me say this. I
They
told
are
y'all we were
baby
crazy. Yeah? This 30 years, we
Y'all
crazy.
crazy.
I want to ask this question because it's amazing, the things that you all are doing. Where did you come up with this blue plan where you're, teaching people? How did you? I mean, I'm obviously, well educated, but where did the blue plan come from? Do you see some things and you kind of put it together with that blue plan? Because it's phenomenal of the things that you're doing with that, and I understand how you can get hurt by being so gracious. But talk a little bit about that blue plan, putting that together, and some of the ups and downs that you went through putting that whole process together. I'm about to say, y'all still there because y'all ain't moving.
They're froze.
Okay.
Now we bros.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
It seems like the day of our wedding, we was literally broke. Now y'all froze.
Are we?
Yeah. Okay. Now y'all good. Okay.
I have to wipe it out. Okay.
You like
I got to move that head. I don't know why I'm moving my head like I'm some kind of a Humpty Dumpty or something like that. Yeah.
If you're
But go
trying
ahead.
to, even I tell future people if you're trying to come up with this master plan or before marriage, while married, I don't think we have a plan. I think it came from togetherness,
an
experience, pain, truth, being desperate, making bad decisions. You ever make because we walking. Now we walking it. I just remember. Now we make sure we don't do nothing unethical. I remember a time we're like, "Ooh, should we have done that? Should we?" I remember on a cruise one time we had like $1,000 some dollars to drop in our account from a bank, and we was like, "That's their fault." Man, we got triple it.
I'll be a Christian tomorrow.
But see, they have grown.
We need this on this cruise.
Right.
and we was in college. We didn't have no money. I was like, and I had the back of my head, and I was like, they gonna reconcile. They gonna figure this out.
But at this moment,
Right now, we going on this cruise.
shame the devil, child, because child.
But like she said, experience, man. I think if we really didn't have a necessarily like a plan or a blueprint, we just kind of took our experience, good and bad, and basically said we're gonna help somebody else. We're gonna dive in, and everybody that hears us, hear Charnita, they always feel inspired. They feel motivated, and they feel that I can make it. Find it from a finance standpoint. If I operate and trust God and with my finances, trust Him with my giving, that's it's gonna bless me. And one of the things I read this book called The Richest Man in Babylon. I always tell a lot of people about that book because not only are we good tithers and givers, but I save as much as I give. And we both do. So as we're saving and we're giving, just like an open hand principle, as long as you're giving, you can receive. As long as when you close your hand, you cannot receive.
Amen.
And also you cannot give. So it's always been that revolving circulation of currency in our account. And we push it back out, and we've been blessing people.
That is so, oh my God.
That is
That
nice.
is so beautiful. Because, like I said, knowing your bios, I know exactly what you guys are doing. And I'm just so proud of how you resonate with people. And that's what it is. It's not that, oh, we at this status or anything. You here and we here. You guys have this personality that's so open and giving. I'm not talking financially, but you give of yourself to make you want to say, wow, I could be her friend, or wow, it's easy to talk to you guys. And that's such a beautiful thing to have, especially if you're doing your seminars and you're trying to reach people and you want them. Because in my heart right now, I believe you two want people to be as successful as you
Yes, ma'am.
guys are. And that's a beautiful thing because most people, when they have that secret little nugget, they don't share. They just keep their fist closed, like, nope, figure it out yourself. But you guys are not like that. So I'm just saying and hoping and praying that God always cover you guys with that because that's
Amen.
such a
Thank
Amen.
beautiful
y'all.
thing.
Amen.
I
Hey,
love
hey,
it.
talk a little bit about what you guys are doing now.
Some of everything.
Oh,
I ain't been on this mental cleanse. Out of this is for 15 days. I'm lethal.
Say
I
that
don't
again.
play.
You kind of
I
broke up.
am.
Say that again.
I said I am a. I'm doing a 15-day detox cleanse on my mental health and how I think concerning my success, how I move. So that's what currently I've been doing lately. But Jason can tell you all our business moves.
oh yeah, we got Horton Enterprises. So we call it the He Building. And I mean 15,000 square feet in downtown Birmingham. We're building something really amazing. It's been in the works for almost a year now, as far as thought process, the build out. Our team is really excited. It gives people the opportunity, especially that's really that's employed by us. They see from the ground level, and they see it. They see it come to fruition. And I actually exposed them to the budgeting aspect of it so they can actually see a project that was first in our mind, put it on paper, and then now you see the hammer to nail and you seeing the spin that comes with that. Because I think I really believe that if they see it, especially our team, we can assist our clients and be better advisors and accountants for them in their bookkeeping and their record keeping. And I think overall it's really helped building our company and our team.
Yeah. You guys keep on talking. Y'all gonna have two more siblings on y'all on coming out
Siblings.
there. Children. I mean, they can be our parents now. Mama,
Okay,
I ain't
they'll be
buying nothing
like,
because I don't want no more bills.
they're gonna be like, take y'all
I'm
all
like,
back, blah blah blah, blah back to Chicago.
our names are no longer McCain. It's the Hortons. This is Rick and Brenda Horton. We are here now. Let's take it.
And say, but why your children look older than you?
That's all right. And, you know, we got the Benjamin Button thing going on. Right
Okay,
now.
no, we gonna push the button. Boop.
Yeah, that we pushing the button
We
to
pushing the
to
button.
be we pushing the button to be Hortons. Poosh. I used to have a button around here too, didn't I?
Yeah, you
I used to
did.
have a button on it. I'm very impressed with the things you're doing. I'm so
I
happy about it,
am.
and I thank God for your willingness to give back and give and show a great example of what it means to be Christian couples, married couples, and I'm excited to see that example flourish and continue.
I am too, and I'm so excited that forgive me, Jason, because my husband will say stop dissing us men. But as I talk to Yvonne, I'm saying this publicly because I do want to interview you for Club 50 because Club 50 is for men and women unless you guys want to do a duo thing. It's a written interview, and I would love to have you as my guest for the month of June of me sending you just 10 quick questions. Okay, 10 quick questions, and I would give you that whole experience because I was looking at their website, babe, and I'm like, Jesus, y'all got it going on, and I love it. I really love. I love what you do for the people. So if you accept that, I'm gonna be in
Thank you.
contact.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be in contact with Yvonne, and thank you, Yvonne, for this connection and Sheldon Smith because you guys just doing it, and we love it. We love to see young couples doing things as couple, making it work.
Yeah.
With 3 babies.
Right, and continue to be that example, because there is nothing more that we need is African American examples. Not that they're not out there, but we don't get shown this much. And so we appreciate you all doing great things in Alabama.
We do. Maybe we have to have another visit to Alabama
Yeah,
and
man.
see something in
Maybe-
Alabama.
I mean,
Yeah. Come to
mean-
the heat building.
yeah, I mean, hey, Alabama was that was a long. We
That
drove.
was-
and that
we
was a
was a
long
long
drive. Yeah,
We did go to Montgomery, Alabama, to the museum.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Oh man, that
was-
blew me away.
Look, it
I
was
mean,
like, oh.
that really blew me away.
Yeah.
But if we do come out there again, we definitely have to make sure that we come by and see these anointed couple here that are
Thank
doing
you.
some great things. So continue that, and don't be surprised if we have you guys come back on for something else. And if you're ever doing something and you want an audience, contact Brenda, and we'll be more than happy to have you on the show.
All right.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the Black King, take care, man. Take care of that woman, cause I ain't gonna forget my brother, the Black King.
He taking care of his woman. He doing it.
Right, he doing his thing. And
See, she's
All right,
like,
y'all. Listen here, push the button, okay?
all right, yes,
Okay.
we will. Take care.
Take
right.
care.
All right, bye bye. That was a great interview with. It's great to see young couples doing, some fascinating things. I mean, they are. I mean, they pushing the button in a lot of things here. I mean, you was reading it off, and they've got Smart Text, Horton Enterprise, Horton Express LLC,
They building a
executive
legacy.
producer of what's that? Is that Carmel? Am I saying that right?
Shanita?
Is that?
Charnita's World.
Oh,
The
Charnita.
TV
I guess I need to have my
the
glasses
reality
on
TV
because I didn't
show.
see the R. Charnita's World. So that's good. Oh, she's on a Hube network. Okay. So that's great. And so they're doing some amazing things. Motivational speakers, business coach, fashion guru, investor, financial literacy experts, entrepreneurs. The Horton. I can't even talk anymore. Horton. What is? I can't say this. Thank you.
Enterprises?
Thank you. You see, this is what happens when you talk too much. You forget words. My mind is going real fast. Horton Enterprise boss, Shanita, and it's just got so many great things that they're doing here. So it is amazing to see young people doing things. We don't get a chance to see it because the world and the news does not really, give the accolades to our African Americans, and they're doing great things out in the world. So it's always good to be able to go around the world and share things like that and seeing the great things that they're doing in Alabama. Hey, we're going to play some music because we're, just about a couple of minutes behind, but we're going to play some music. This is Kenny's Choice. We're going to play some music, and we'll be right back. Stay with us for yours on YouTube and Facebook because we're going to be back to that story about the preacher and how he's changing things around. So stay with us. All right, so Brittany was talking about that, the pastor who says he's going to have the biggest queer church in the world. I'm like, this is not biblical, y'all. If you haven't heard this, I'm going to let Brenda kind of rehash the story a little bit and we'll talk about it.
Okay, the story was he feared coming out. Now this pastor wants to help black churches become as welcoming as his own. Now this is a minister of one of suburban Boston's famed black churches for 24 years. He knew he was gay and had a problem with coming out because he didn't know how the church people was going to receive him. And some left, some stayed. He's built his congregation, continued to do what he needed to do, and now he had written a book called Queering the Black Church. And from that, he hopes he can serve as a guide, babe, for a congregation to be open and affirming to LGBTQ communities rather than shunning them.
Understandably enough, you should never be judgmental against anyone and the way they live their lives. That's in the hands of God, and so if someone is not living a godly life, we shouldn't judge them and put them down and scorn them. You try to live an example in front of them that they may see that example and see the righteousness of God within you and change from things that are unrighteous or not of God to God. But to have a goal to have the largest queer church is almost judgment of yourself, because what are you going to do? Tell everybody else they can't come to the church? And what are you doing? You're accepting the sinfulness of that. Why are you frowning in your face?
Mike, no, it's not that. My
Because I'm like, and when you're saying you're going to have the largest queer church, are you saying everybody else can't come? Are you
it
doing?
does seem like that.
Are you're saying you want them to not be judged or feel bad, but yet you're going to have something where they can feel comfortable, where other people might feel bad. I mean, it's it's going down a slippery slope, and it's not a biblical thing to do. The problem I have is that when you try to mix the world and the church, or spiritual with unspiritual, homosexuality is just another sin. It's no greater or less than any other sin. But when you try to justify it through biblical word or biblical guidance, or having a church that's only for that one sin, you can't justify that biblically to God. Yeah, the world might be okay with it, but we don't live according to the word of the world. We live by the word of God. And so we, as mankind, I said this once before, as one of the quotes that I used to say, man's biggest stupidity is his intelligence. And I'll say that again. Man's biggest stupidity is his intelligence. We think that we can change anything to be acceptable to what the masses believes. And, there was a time that homosexuality was not accepted. People would beat for it. I mean, it still happens now, but not in the same breath. And people were afraid, to say who they were. And, because of fear of, the retribution of violence, or even been killed. However, now that has changed because man's intelligence, we've decided to accept that more. And that's only because the masses that have a more of a number of people on the world have accepted it. Not because it's been worldly accepted, because it's still not. But it doesn't mean that we should live within that sin because now the world accepts it. And then what happens a lot of times with homosexuality is now people will be abusive and mean and talk down to you and say you ain't right, and because you don't accept them now. So they're falling into the same melting pot, prejudice, racism kind of thought process that they once lived. And we saw a play like that, like English, the accents and how they had to learn how to do. It's a shame when that happens, but you can't change. You can't make something wrong and make it right and say it's under the umbrella of Jesus Christ, because God is not going to allow himself to live within that unrighteousness. A church is just a building. The foundation is by Christ. And so we got about 15 seconds before we get into the SOAR Radio people again. And so join us there, people on Facebook, YouTube. We are going to be on the air. All right, SOAR Radio, welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Evangelist Brenda McCain here. She is the Cleopatra of my world, the queen.
I like that.
She's just, I'm the queen. And I'm the Black King today. And so we had a good conversation with the Hortons on there. And so talking about finance and marriage and all the wonderful things they're doing. And we're very excited about having them on our show. Hey, speaking about a show, if you want to do your own radio show, you can contact SOAR at soarradio.com. That's SOAR at soarradio.com. You can contact them there and let them know about a show that you would like to do on the 2-time Stellar Award winner for Best Internet Station of the Year, SOAR Radio. So contact them. Now, we want you to keep the show, okay. Don't go a little too off the racks here.
Don't go rogue.
Even my No Judgments show, it's still going to have a Christian overtone to it. So, be clean. They'll let you know if nah, you can't do it. Just be clean. But if you're interested in having your own show, this is the place to be. SOAR Radio at Soar Radio at soarradio.com. Once again, that's Soar Radio at soarradio.com. So also make sure you watch the JD Morning Show tomorrow between the hours of 6 and 8 a.m. only on Soar Radio. Well, Justin, Kenny, and the gang will be talking about some great things as well. So just make sure tomorrow, Wednesday, 6 a.m., the JD Morning Show here on Soar Radio. Baby, what you got for me? What are we going to be talking about next?
Got a special segment coming up
Special.
called No Judgment. And our topic, get ready,
Yeah, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Black men dating white women.
Right. So I talked about this probably a couple of weeks ago about a show that I was thinking about doing called No Judgment here on Soar Radio. It's going to be like a show that I would do maybe like midnight, 11 or midnight on a Friday or a Saturday, maybe even a Sunday. Sunday sounds good.
You got to get up and go to work.
Yeah, but I got to make sure I do it at a time that Kenny's going to be around. So that's going to be one of the kickers too. But we talked about any subject with no judgment, because what I wrote this down one time, and I want to make sure that I said this right, is that the show No Judgment is not beating you with the word, but meeting you where, let me make sure I say it right. It's not beating you with the word, but meeting you where you are with the word. I like that. I wrote that down. I can't see without my glasses. Got to push it real far back. So I'm going to say it one more time. I did say it right the second time. It's amazing how you can write some things down. You're so creative, but you write down so many things you can't remember what you wrote down. But this No Judgment is going to be a show that's not beating you with the word, but meeting you where you are with the word. And so this subject I brought up because I've heard a lot about it, especially from African American women who get a little bit upset about the scenario and stuff like that. Especially here now in the Chicagoland area, where we've just recently had a black quarterback who came here and had his white girlfriend, and a lot of them say, why all these sports people are making this money? They always getting these white girls and blah, 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 blah. And so I kind of said, this is a good topic for No Judgment, because how do we look at, a situation where a black man who decides to be with a white woman, and it's always somehow a negative thing. And so this is just going to be an open forum, because I know Betty Shabazz is going to come out on this side. There is no more Brenda in this segment. It's going to be probably Betty Shabazz. Yeah. So I want Betty to kind of like say her little spiel before I say anything. Miss Shabazz, what is your thought process about that?
First of all, I want to say everyone has, my disclaimer. Everyone has the right to love whom they want to love. I don't give a bleep about none of that. But what concerns me with our African American men, when you choose not to date an African American woman purposely, intentionally, you seek out the Caucasian woman because you say they're easy to deal with. It's no drama, no head rolling, no this, no that. I can't deal with the black woman. That's hurtful. Your mother's a black woman, your grandmother, your sister, your auntie, your cousins, but you can't deal with that. So some of these African American athletes or big people in entertainment who get a dime over their expenses, they want the easy road, as one African American man said before. It's no drama with them. They do as we tell them what to do. And I'm like, wow, if that's what you want, then you go right for it. You do. You don't want an opinion. You don't want a woman that will work with you from the ground up. Like I said, Marguerite Simpson dodged a big bullet when OJ decided, I don't want to be married to you. I'd rather, an educated woman, mind you, I'd rather date this waitress 20-some years younger than me and mold her to be exactly what I want. And let me just clarify, I don't wish death on no one. Only thing I'm saying is Marguerite dodged a big bullet. When you get African American men who down their race and down an African American woman. That's what bothered me. You could continue to date the Caucasian woman, but don't down your sister. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you're gonna say probably much more than that, I'm sure. But here's the
I
thing.
am.
Here's the thing. Let's get away from the notion that because a black man dates a white woman, he's somehow devoiding his blackness or his love for his mother or his sister or for black women in general.
I'm just telling you what I read or what they say.
I understand that. That's what you read. Everything you read is not right.
Coming from, no, it's not right coming from the black man.
But I'm just saying everything you read is not right. But let's get rid of that, because it does not mean because I decided to date a white woman as a black man that I'm going against my mother, because I don't look at my mother as being a black woman. She's my mother. And so I don't look at that in the same way. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to hate my mother because I'm with a white woman. So, I mean, I don't want to go with it. And saying that, what you call a dodge the bullet, you're jumping the gun on that. I mean, you know, I think, you know, and this is no judgment, so you can say what you want to say what you want, and I'm going to come back to say what I want to say. We can go tit for tat, sister, if we want to. But I just think that, you know, I'm not saying that all of the reasons why black men date white women are correct or right, but they do have a choice to do that. And they should not be devoid of their blackness or looked down as a black man or a strong black man or a righteous black man just because they've decided to be with someone that's not black. Now, saying that, I do know that there are some statements where it has been made that the black woman can be very difficult to deal with. They're more aggressive. They want more. They desire more. You got this, I want this. And I'm looking at this one thing here. It says, black women carry double the frustration. Think about the rage you feel living in the black man, the country that he has been in and systematically discriminated against and killing you and your community. So I don't really know what that means. But there is a frustration or a aggressiveness that white women don't provide that black women do. Now, I want to say this.
Wait a minute, say that statement.
It's a aggressiveness or a more of a frustration, you know, that black women bring to a black man than a white woman does. But I'm going to say this. The white woman has been trained not to give that frustration out of violence and abuse. Okay? And that we don't really have that as much. Not saying we don't, but they've been trained to be docile. We lived in a world where the white man's word was the only word that was accepted, and the white woman stayed in the house. You just heard that recently from the Kansas City Chiefs football player, and I'm going to get his name here. Harrison Buckner was talking about that. About what? Buckers was talking about that. Thank you for correcting me as I'm speaking. But he was talking about that as well. So the frustration comes at, I've heard some men say, especially some of the men that have riches, is that as soon as I get mines, because she's been with me for a while, she thinks she should get half or she should get something as well, whereas the white woman might feel just comfortable being there. And
wow.
that's what's being said. That might be true, but I'm not saying that gives them the right to do that. But here's the thing, no judgment. This is no judgment. Is it wrong not to want the frustration that you deem to feel that you might receive from one woman that you won't receive from another? Now, I think that's very, it's not, I can't think of the word I'm trying to. I don't think that's a right statement to say, because not all black women are difficult to deal with. And not all white women are docile and easy. But the perception is how this world was built was that the white man ruled and the white woman served. And so when that black man gets in a position of rule or authority, he's looking for the melting pot woman that serves and not wants to receive. And that becomes a systematic philosophy, a systematic failure of men sometimes to thinking that a woman should not be equal to them, they should serve them. But again, black men are looking for less frustration. I mean, can you speak, or are you just going to let you?
I'm coming. Yes, everybody deserves not to have frustrations in their relationships, but I see this so different because in the sports world, a lot of those white women are trained to be gold diggers. When they see a young black man who got something going on, they jump on it. But yeah, if he's with, and I mean, I have seen this on, it was a TV show, but I've seen it to be true working in the sports industry once upon a time, that white women know all they have to do is turn the head of African American guy to get him to see things their way. Once again, the African American woman is the lowest on the totem pole. What hurts me is, like I said before, that when you're in a relationship with them, you could ride and die with them all the way, baby. We gonna struggle together. We gonna do this. That's why I just love the couple that was just on here the whole time. From, and I can't say they didn't have anything, but from where they started to where they at now, they riding it out together, making it work. He didn't get rid of her to go to the light bright. It's like, no, I'm sticking with my Nubian queen. With the most of the African American men, they get that little dime over their expenses again, and it's like you drop the black woman like hotcakes. And while she the one to really help you get to where you going, whereas, like I said, I only use the OJ thing as an example. You were so intimidated that you had a strong black woman that was educated, just like you were, but you decided to go get a waitress. Nothing against waitresses, but you decided to go get a waitress that you could mold because, hey, she will accept what I have because I'm rich. I'm OJ. She's going to accept that, and I could give her the world. Where's your wife? Like, wait a minute. I'm right here with you in the trenches building this legacy together, but because you think I got too much mouth?
And again, here's the thing that is a misnomer and an issue that I have. Trying to use the minority as the majority. You're trying to use OJ as the example, and that's not the example of how all black men think. So we can't just grab one bad apple and think it's supposed to spoil the whole bunch. It's not that easy or something that we can just discuss, because it doesn't give validation to the overall thought process of these men who think this way. And again, I want to say this is not the consistent or the thought process of all black men, because I'm with a black woman who it does got a lot of mouth, that is independent, that will fight back, who doesn't listen. I mean, I got all of that, but I'm still here.
You did.
Okay, I got all of that, but I'm not sitting there saying I'm going to the light bright. I'm say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. And I think there's a lot of black men that think that way. So when we look at that, we can't look at the black man in its totality, but we have to look at the mental thought process of black men who decide to choose white women because they feel that they don't, like this one statement says, no man wants to feel belittled or disrespect. So they're saying that the black women, and this is the fault again of these men, that black women, plural, will belittle you and disrespect you as a man more than white women will do. Now, again, this is not the consensus of the black man in its totality. This is the mental thought process of these men that are making these choices. And I'm just talking about what they are saying. I'm not trying to justify it or go against it, but look at it and try to figure out, as I said before, not beat you with the word, but meet you where you are with the word. I'm not saying stop what you're doing, because you're speaking the mind of a lot of people and what they think. But the thing about it is that there are some men out there that happen to be African American who feel that the black woman wants more, feels she deserves more, and should get more. I did remember one time this guy was saying, the reason why I decided to stop dating black women is because as soon as I got something, my girlfriend, not my wife, my girlfriend felt that I should start buying her things and wanting things. I'm going to go buy this. I want to go buy that. I'm going to buy that. And he was saying, I just got this, and she thought because she was there, she should have it too. Now, again, I will say this. I don't know that wouldn't be the same thought process of the white woman, but here's the trickery of this whole thing. The sister might say what she wants. The white woman will scheme to get what she wants.
Yes, and that's it. And it would be nice if some of the African American men woke up and seen that. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this is the poster child from the last year, is Jonathan Majors. I hope you learned your lesson.
Here we go with throwing another
No,
man's name.
I have to use sometimes a celebrity for a face or something.
Okay.
But with him, I always think, how could you, when you could even look at a white woman, what is it, some deep-seated thing that I arrived because I couldn't look at her back in the slavery days in the early 19th century, that if I get her now, I'm spiting the white man because they flock. We know a city where the black men is like king. White women flock all over. You probably don't even have a job. She working 2 jobs for you, and you happy about that as a black man because you know a sister ain't gonna do that. But I'm looking at not you guys, some black men, they feel as though, hey, I could get everything I want and need from a white woman without the drama. I don't have to work as hard to be with her because she would do anything to be with me, whereas I got to fight and argue all the time with the sister. And it's like, dude, to me, it's a lot of low esteem stuff going on there because it's just sad to me.
I mean, I don't know the schematics of how a person is thinking in that time or period of why they made a specific choice. However, I will say this, that both women want the same thing. It's the thought process of these men who may want to give them these things is that one demands and one requests. And
see, that's not right. No,
it does. It's no wrong or right there. This is the
black
thought
women
process.
don't demand. They don't.
But
they love just the same way as a white woman. But because if I say something you didn't like, you have to cut me down. If a white woman says, okay, baby, I just wait for, she's plotting and scheming. Like, I'm just going to bring this part up. Like you said, it ain't Brenda McCain, it's Betty Shabazz coming. I use Jonathan because that woman ruined your career. You wanted to be, when you made it up there, you want to be with that white girl. And she even told him, I could take you down with one phone call. What does that tell you? When they fed up with you and you ain't doing what they want them to do, they know how to take you down. And she brought them down. That's why I just look at that. I don't understand some black men that say, I'll take that risk.
And I'm trying to be neutral here because I believe that any woman could have done that to him. I mean, the white woman does have a power to do it She can do it by word, whereas as you saw with a recent video with Diddy, the only thing that she had was she had to have a video. She couldn't have just used word to do it because that powerful. But even then, you can look at some cases where that doesn't happen. But here's the thing. I'm not going to fall into the trap of saying all black women, because that's a misnomer. All black women are not that, because there's one thing on here. He says anger. It says he says black women have attitudes. The notion comes from the age-old angry black woman idea. Black men have used this as a reason why they prefer more calm, level-headed white women. But I want to remind you of something when you hear this. I want to remind you of something. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to remind you of a movie and the perception that has been forced into our minds about black and white. It says here that the notion comes from the age-old angry black woman idea. Black men have used this as a reason why they prefer a more calm, level-headed white woman. The problem is that this conception is twofold, and they're talking about that. You remember the movie, you know what I'm talking about? What are you going to say?
Close your eyes, the jury, and picture. Is that the one
Are you going to talk in the mic?
Close your eyes.
Nope,
jury.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, which one you talking about?
Okay, can you get your composure back? You remember the it was a part of the movie with Malcolm X where he told him to read the dictionary, and he showed him the definition of white and black, the perception of what black was compared to what white. So now you hear here, angry black woman, calm,
white woman,
level-headed white woman. It's almost the same as that dictionary scenario where the statement of white and black have been delineated to think that black is bad, white is right. And so we have been brainwashed to believe that so much that we've come into the same thought process that it's easier to deal with someone white because they're righteous, they're nice, they're level-headed, they're wonderful, than black, who is difficult, angry, frustrating, violent, criminal. This is the same thing that has been fed to black men who believe that they should be with a white woman. Now, I'm going to say this again. I don't care what person you date, black, white, Jew, Gentile. If you love that person, they love you, I'm fine with it. But we've got to look at the mentality of how things have been brought to us in society and how we, as African Americans that came over here as slaves, have been embedded with this thought process of white good, black bad. And we have taken that and heightened it to our relationships, where the black woman who is not docile is angry, whereas the white woman who is good. And the problem is that the white woman doesn't have to do what the black woman has to do. And that becomes a problematic scenario, because now you have accepted the fact that I should take this because I can deal with this better than that. And you've decided to look at that dictionary just like Malcolm X did, and you've decided that white was right, black was wrong. And that is the mentality that has been brought to us since the time of slavery. And it's wrong, but I'm a flip something on you. We're going to talk about this again next week. The flip part of this is going to be the problem that white people have with black men dating whites. We're going to talk about that. The problem that white people have with black men dating whites. And I'm going to give you one little tidbit. It's population. Population.
And the fact that you don't want them to bring no black boy home.
No, it's population. That's what it is. It's We talked about this before. It's population. We live in a world that is largely populated by one race. If that race decreases and another population increases, that population takes away the majority. And that can be a problem for those who are of the Caucasian race, because population has power. We live in a world that's like 59% white, Caucasian. African American race has dropped down from 18% at one time to I think about even 13 to 12. Hispanic race has actually increased higher than the black race. We're going to talk about why somebody thinks that, but again, I want to talk. Maybe we didn't get no more time. We about 15 more minutes. We got to do a couple of things. We're going to talk about this again. I hope you all enjoying this. It is something that we want to talk about, and I love to let Brenda just speak her mind, because it is the mind that a lot of people will think. But I'm trying again with this thing that I'm talking about with no judgment. It's called, I'm not beating you with the word, but meeting you where you are with the word. And so that's what we're going to try to do. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We're going to bring this back up again next Tuesday and talk about it a little bit more. Babe, we got a couple of things we got to talk about here. Kenny, I don't think we're going to get another song in, because we got to kick up some things in here real quick. What do you got for me with the things that you have there? You going to go to Let's Play?
Yeah, we're going to do Let's Play here. 4-star play at Cadillac Palace, Death Becomes Her, musical comedy revitalized. This is playing into June 2nd, so you only got a little over a week to go. This is an excellent play. I thoroughly enjoyed the day.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. Death Becomes Her, about two women, prideful women, one, for this one man that they're fighting over. And they take this potion, and it allows them to have their youth again. It's at Cadillac Theater. It was hilarious. I thought it was fun. I'm not quite sure how the gay coat thing kind of went on like this, because it's got a huge gay following for this thing. But it is an amazing and funny play that you will definitely enjoy. Death Becomes Her at Cadillac Theater.
And the next one is a 3-star play at Duality Theater. The play is called Enemy of the People. That is playing. Where is this playing?
That's the play in the Den Theater. Yeah.
That throws you off. It's playing until the 26th, so I got only 5 more days to go.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that you got a plethora of theaters around here in the Chicagoland area that actually a theater company, but they don't have a location. So those theater companies use different locations. So Duality Theater Company has their plays at Den Theater, and they may have it at other different theaters. Enemy of the State has been,
Enemy of the People.
Enemy of the People. I keep on thinking of Will Smith. Enemy of the People has been done numerous of times. I thought that this young group did an excellent job with it. I was impressed with it. We had a young lady named Lizzie who just asked me to come to review the play. Would have been nice if Lizzie would have been there to introduce herself to us, because she asked us to come to the play, but she was not there. But I thought the play was really nice. And I'm going to go past Brenda's rising eyebrows and stuff like that I see on the thing, because I'm going to say what I want to say.
No,
I'm Mr. Shabazz,
I'm just tripping on you, right?
Yeah.
You should have been there. You invited people to come
Right,
to this.
you should have been there. I mean, say your piece, girl. You ain't stopped before. But I thought it was a good play. I think you said it's only there for a couple of more days.
To the 26th.
It was really good. I think the highlight of the day was we had police all over the place when we left out the place.
Where was that? Wicker Park?
I think that was. It was just it was interesting. But
and in this other play, we have not rated it yet. English at Goodman Theater.
yeah, I'm ruffling on this. I thought it was excellent. It talks about the Iranians who try to come to America. But the requirement is that they have to learn English, and it's very difficult to learn, which is so interesting because we never really think in America how difficult it is to learn a foreign language, unless, of course, you've taken, Spanish or French or anything, German. how difficult it is to kind of understand what that language and what they're saying. You may even understand the word, but that word may not mean what you think it is. And the problems that they have transporting themselves into another country, learning the language, and people, being negative and racism against them because of their ethnicities and their ethnic speaking. And so it was I thought it was nice. It did miss a little bit on certain things. It didn't go into the political reasons of what was going on back in 2008, what was happening. And I also thought that the classroom thing was a little bit much. It was just too much classroom. They should have broke it up and did a little bit more deep dive into the personalities of the individuals and why they were trying to leave their homeland, which they love, to go to America.
Okay. Switching gears here. Club 50. Check out some of the articles and interviews at theclub50.com. Ife Designs. Appreciate you and love you. Summer is among us. Prom has been phenomenal. Graduation. Still doing some flyers and stuff for that and banners, but now we're about to move into the summer, so to get those weddings and birthday parties and whatever else you need done for invitation, banners, or anything. I'm your girl, Ife Designs at gmail.com.
Change of name, Ife Divine. Ife Designs at gmail.com. That's Ife Design at gmail.com.
Okay, and this, a letter we got time.
Yeah, we got some time real quick.
Dear LSTT, okay, this is nothing new, what I'm going to talk about in this letter. However, I am so disgusted with how society is trying to make this a fashion statement with our black men. I was watching a movie that showed our black men in a fashion show modeling, pants hanging down with their underwear showing. I don't care how attractive the models were strutting the runway. To be honest, they could barely walk. And the audience went wild. This foolishness has to stop. No one, not one white male was modeling, whether they got paid for it or not. This was sickening with all the black men looking like they're in a chain gang, barely walking the runway. LSTT, what are your thoughts regarding this unruly phenomenon? Sincerely, black men with pants down.
I'm kind of mixed in my thought process on there because I was gonna say something like, well, if you don't like it, don't go. It is this, the way things are done. That was the fashion show. That's how they wanted to design it. And if it was pleasing to the people that was there, then they did what they wanted to do. I understand the fact that it does show African Americans into a negative light. But we live in a world where what looks negative now is positive to a lot of people. We're not in the spiritual realm, or, people don't do things. They never really did things in this world the way God wanted us to do. And so I'm a little, conflicted with this because I understand that, you don't want that persona of black men out there, just like we just talked about angry black women, You don't want that out there, but it's out there. And so I don't really know if I can say this is wrong, this is this and that, because it's what the world wants to do. And since I look at myself of not of the world, but in the world, I can't really sit there and judge what other people feel that is comfortable and they like to do. Is it something that I would not want to be a part of? Yes. And I would just say, if it's something you don't want to be a part of, don't be a part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, though. One thing that stood out with this letter was that you showcase all black men with their pants hanging down, not a white model in this thing, he said. And that speaks volumes right there. Well, like I said, or read, whether they got paid or not, I wouldn't even want to represent that. And it didn't say they was modeling designer underwear, because back in the day, Marky Mark showed just a little of the Calvin Klein underwear, but these people, when the belt is up under your butt, you're showing all of that, and it's like, that's not cool. But like you said, we're living in a different type of world right now. As they say, it's a different world where we came from, and it truly is. So If you're gonna make a mockery out of yourself, get paid for it. I guess I don't know what the
This is Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo. We'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And that's going to be probably the same thing for you guys on Facebook. We're going to get out of here and we'll see you next Tuesday.